Hi everybody, Rich from Taylor Guitars here at the Kraft Music Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're now going to talk to you about our 800 series guitars and how they fit into the mix of Taylor guitars. Interestingly enough, if I were to ask you, what's the best-selling guitar in the country right now? You'd probably think of a couple of different guitars. The guitar that probably would not come to mind is the guitar I'm holding right here, which is the Taylor 814 CE. The Taylor 814 CE is the #1 selling guitar in the country. And without a doubt, this is an absolutely amazing guitar. Now, let's talk about what this guitar is. This guitar was redesigned in 2014 when Bob Taylor decided to step into a different part of the company where he is working with wood conservation and saving ebony and things that a lot of us that follow Taylor guitars know about. He brought in a new head luthier named Andy Powers. Now, Andy Powers, the first thing that he did was a redesign of our 800 series. Now, you might kind of be scratching your head and going, now, why in the world would anybody redesign the best-selling guitar? Well, it's interesting that you point that out because I asked the same question. And you know, you get a lot of different answers, but the fact is that if we can do a guitar better, that's exactly what we're going to do. And at Taylor, we do it a lot. So what does the 800 series bring? Well, with the 800 series redesign, everything was rethought. From bracing to finish to glues, anything that would come into contact with the overall tone and sound of the guitar was rethought. So let's talk about the finish first. This finish has half the thickness of finish of most any other guitar out there. It is 0.0035 mils. Well, what's that mean? Think of 3.5 pieces of paper. That's as thick as the finish is, all right? Well, so what? Well, guitars vibrate, which is what makes sound. Our guitars are made of all wood, and if you put a heavy finish on wood, that's going to inhibit the vibration. So we want the guitars to be able to be protected, but we also need a guitar that's going to respond to a hit and a strike, because remember, a lot of people hit their guitars differently. I've seen people with silver dollar picks, and I've seen people use the tips of their fingers. So there's different energy that has to transfer to the top. So that's your finish. As far as the tops go and the appointments, you know, we're looking at obviously a solid spruce top, ebony bridges, ebony fingerboards, amazing inlays. The ebony in the fingerboard of the 800, you're going to find all kinds of different figures and variations in the ebony. That's for a whole different story at a whole different time if we ever get a chance to talk to you about ebony and what we're doing in the world of ebony. You're also talking about maple bindings, and that the maple, we didn't want it to be really highly flamed. We want it to be a subtle maple with rosewood that absolutely picture framed the guitar. So when you're playing the guitar, you see the shape of the body. There's all of these things that a lot of people don't think about that go into it. The rosewood, the grain of the rosewood has a lot to do with the overall tonality. So we're very specific in the tone in the rosewood that we choose for the 800. Now you're going to be looking at this 814, and if you have a real discriminating eye, you're going to go, wait a minute, that's not an 814 CE. That's an 814 CE Deluxe. And you would win the prize because that's exactly what this guitar is. So an 814 CE looks like this. An 814 CE Deluxe looks like this. What did I do? We have an armrest here, a beveled armrest on our Deluxe series. The other thing that you can't see on the Deluxe series is that we braced it ever so slightly different, and we used Adirondack Bracing. Some people just call it Addy Bracing. Well, what's that? Well, how is that different? How does it take one of the best-selling guitars in an 814 CE? Why does it make it a Deluxe, and why is it here? Well, Addy Bracing has a whole different vibe to it, and when you strike a guitar with a pick or your fingers that has Addy Bracing, it's like added horsepower to the top. It just tends to want to pop that top, and so it becomes a little bit even more responsive than an 814 CE. The other thing we did with the Deluxe is that we did a different tuning peg on that. We went to a Godot 510. All right, so what the heck is that? Well, what that is that, you know, when you tune a tuning peg, it takes 17 times to turn it with Taylor in order to get it to revolve once. With these, it's 21 times. So what? That means more work. No, what it means is you can ever so slightly get that tune exactly where you want it, all right? So the 800 series comes in all 5 shapes. It comes in either in your concert size, either a 12 fret or a 14 fret. You can get it with cutaways or not. You can get it with electronics or not. If you do the multiplication, that's a lot of different variations of an 800 series. Add in the feature of a deluxe, and you have a lot more. So you're going to have questions about the 800 series, I guarantee it. So be sure to contact your Kraft Music sales advisor, and they're going to walk you through all the different variations of the 800 and the 800 Deluxe, so you're sure to get the right guitar. Thanks very much for watching.